Welcome to WholeCEO with Lisa G. I'm the best-selling author of The Boss Weight Loss. I'm bringing you the top tips to be unstoppable. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to actually pull up a chair with today's top experts in mindset, weight loss, business, and more. Learn our top tips so that you can have more energy, be fit and resilient, feel unstoppable, unshakable, and unbreakable. She's a content director of BrickSeek, the top online shopping tool and resource for the best deals across the web, and the nation's largest retailer, a go-to resource for deal hunting techniques, cost-cutting strategies, and trend forecasting for today's most wanted products. She's an expert at navigating everyday purchases to the biggest shopping events of the year, hard to locate item, and has been featured in media, including The List TV, Business Insider, News and World Report, and Reader's Digest, among others. Please welcome to the podcast, Bethany Hollars. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. I know inflation is a hot topic these days, so let's jump right in. What are some strategies to lower the weekly grocery bills and start beating inflation?
Absolutely. So we all know we're all feeling it. Inflation is hitting us in our pocketbooks, and we're all well aware of it. Unfortunately, inflation is the highest in some of the categories that none of us can avoid spending in. Those would be areas like our grocery bills, our fuel costs, our electricity bills, and we're feeling that all across the country. There's definitely some easy tips that we can take advantage of to try and keep some of those dollars in our wallets while we do what we can to fight the inflation.
Awesome. I'm in Los Angeles feeling the pain at the pump.
Absolutely. Oh, God bless you.
So, well, let's start with since I just said it, the gas bill, and then we can go
Absolutely.
into the grocery bill and other ways to cut our savings, increase our savings and cut our costs.
Sure. So definitely the pain at the gas pump is being felt everywhere. As you just noticed, I'm on the East Coast and I feel it here. You're on the West Coast, you feel it there. It's
Ouch.
everywhere. We
Yeah.
just we can't avoid leaving our homes, so we can't avoid spending money on fuel that way. But there are a few simple things we can do to try and pinch those pennies. The first is very simple, and that's just to drive smarter. Driving too fast, accelerating too quickly, it can easily eat away at the gas that's in your tank. So when you're driving, make sure that you're following the speed limit, be smooth with
Uh-oh.
your speeding up and you're slowing down. They're very simple changes, but the easier you drive the car and the smoother you drive your car, the more gas that you're keeping in your tank, which is basically just money saved. The next step would be make sure to keep up on the maintenance with your car.
Right.
The best way, that is the best way to make sure that you're getting optimal gas mileage. And these are also very simple things, making sure that your air filters and your fuel filters are clean and replace them when needed, making sure that your tires are inflated to the right level. That actually is a huge way to make sure that you're getting good gas mileage, as well as making sure that you have your oil changed on time every time. I know that these things can seem like they're annoyances, but they affect your gas mileage. And if you're looking to save money at the pump and you can't do it there, this is the next best thing to help pinch those gas pennies. And third would be to consider, we've heard this before, but to walk or ride your bike. I think that that's something that is such a simple tip that it's often overlooked. It's summertime, we've got that warm weather, so now is the best time of year to leave your car at home anyways. If you live in a city or you live close to a place where you visit often, either consider walking there or possibly riding your bike there at least a few times a week. And obviously the best part of the tip is, aside from saving all that money on gas, you're getting in a great workout.
I love all those tips. The hardest one for me will be to slow down, but that'll help me save money in the long run.
And
Everything
tickets are also expensive, so you're
that's
saving
where I can
yourself
save
money
the
there.
money in the long run. And definitely, I'm all about walking. I'm fortunate to be able to live someplace where I can walk to a lot of places. So let's
Absolutely.
jump into the other ways people can save money on like their grocery bills and stuff like that.
Sure. I think grocery bills are really where I feel like I'm really feeling the hit of inflation. I've got 4 young kids at home, so
Uh,
my grocery bill has really spiked. In February of this year, grocery prices were up almost 8% from the same point last year in 2021. And what seems even more disheartening is that they're expected to rise another 3 to 4% by the end of the year. So we're
yeah.
definitely all feeling it when we get to the store to buy our family groceries and food. So the first tip, and this is probably the most time consuming of the tips, but it is by far the most effective, is to shop with a list. If you're serious about saving money, on the other hand, while you're saving the money, is that you are going to have to give up a little bit of your time and convenience in order to make some of these tips happen. And while your time and convenience is very important, you will see this in the total of your bill at the grocery store. So shop with a list is the first step. Basically, before you go to the grocery store, you need to come up with a meal plan. And whether that's a weekly meal plan or it's a monthly meal plan, you need to figure out what it is that you're going to be cooking. And the first step after you've done that list or that meal plan is to shop your kitchen. Figure out what you already have on hand so that you're not buying doubles of anything. And
Yeah.
once you figured out what you have on hand, you make your grocery list for the missing items that you need in order to complete your meal prep. Obviously, you take that list with you to the store, and once you're there, you stick to the list.
No, getting
This
distracted by those things right by the cash register.
absolutely, grocery stores, retailers in general are wonderful at marketing to us, especially our propensity to splurge on things that we were not planning to spend money on. Take that list to the store and stick to the list. Only buy what is on the list. And just in that way alone, you're already going to be saving money on those impulse purchases. If you're the type of person where it's very hard for you to prevent those impulse purchases, then do a grocery store pickup. Even if it costs a few dollars, you're still going to end up saving money in the long run when you're only purchasing what's on the list and you just keep yourself out of the store and avoid throwing those extra things into your cart.
Do you buy stuff on sale or look for coupons too?
Absolutely. That's definitely one of the tips that I always recommend. I feel like sometimes people hear couponing and they kind of cringe because they've got these preconceived notions that it must be so time consuming and it's so confusing. And that's just, it's not the case. Couponing has kept up with our ever changing technology. Most grocery stores now have their own rewards program and their own apps with their own coupons, or they allow you to download coupons onto those apps. It makes it super simple. There's
Yeah.
also some great rebate apps that are out there as well. So Ibotta is one of them. They give you a list of items that are eligible for rebates. You go to the store and buy the items, snap a picture of your receipt and upload it, and you get money back either by a check or via PayPal. A very easy way to save, and also keeping up with that ever changing technology. Many of these grocery store apps now allow you to link those rebate apps or some of the coupon apps to the grocery store app. You don't even have to take pictures of your receipt. It's all right there within the app. And it's basically, you just scan your receipt in and the savings are added right to your account. Once you stack the coupon savings, maybe some of those rebate savings, along with the discounts that you're already finding and the sales you're already finding at the store, it's a great way to stack those savings and really bring the total cost of your grocery bill down.
Well, is there supposed to be like an amount of money that you're supposed to spend on groceries? Because I know it varies, obviously, Los Angeles and the East Coast are very expensive places to live compared to others. But is there like some number that's not astronomical that you should expect to spend on groceries?
It varies depending on many factors. Like you said, where you live, who you talk to. Sometimes you could hear, well, it would be 5% of your, monthly budget, or it'd be 10% or 15. So part of it depends on where you're living, how much the cost of groceries are in that area. It depends how often are you cooking at home? How often are you eating out? What does your family look like? If I took only, maybe 5% of someone's monthly budget might work for them. Me with 4 kids at home, that would never fly. So really what I try and say is just shop with common sense. If you feel like you're really having to bend over backwards to try and figure out how you're going to pay your grocery bill, you probably should be looking for ways to cut down on that area of your spending. There's 2 other very simple ways of doing that. And the first is to stock up on your staple foods. I know that might sound like the opposite of saving money, but hear me out. We all have
Right.
those items that we know we're going to use week in and week out, month in, month out. Maybe it's, that certain can of vegetable or your certain box of rice that you know that you're going to go through. These tend to be shelf stable foods as it is. So if you see your local grocer put that item on sale, they've already done the work for you and discounted it.
Yeah.
Buy 2 or 3 instead of just one, and you already know you're going to be using it. So long as you use it before the expiration date and it doesn't go to waste, it's savings up front that you can then space out through the rest of your, your month or your week. So that's a very easy tip to take advantage of. And the second is to consider buying frozen. Fresh meat, vegetables, they're definitely being hit hard by these rising prices. And you can combat that just by considering buying them frozen rather than fresh. They tend to be much cheaper than their fresh alternatives. And when they're frozen properly, they cook up just the same as if you had bought them fresh. They obviously store much longer. And if you can find them on sale when you are buying them, you're doubling your savings right there.
I love frozen vegetables. I realize that where I'm wasting a lot of money is on bottled water. So I tried a new thing yesterday. I hope I'll keep up with it. But I bought a little like sparkling water maker and I thought I'll try that. What do you think on how can we save money on wasting money on bottled water?
Absolutely. So that is actually, not only is it necessarily not great for the environment, but it's one of those things where we're trading off convenience for money. And you've got to make the decision whether or not you want the convenience or you want the dollars in your wallet. And if you choose to have those extra dollars, one of the things that you'll have to do, like you said, is maybe figure out a way that's maybe still convenient, but maybe a little less convenient than the bottled water. I always suggest just look at getting a gallon of water and getting a nice thermos or a reusable water bottle and just filling it up with that gallon of water. Also, definitely consider the faucet water purifiers like a Brita or a Pure. There's ones that go on your refrigerator. They can go on your countertop. And if it's right there and in front of you, it's just as easy to fill up a reusable water bottle with that cheaper water alternative than buying the convenience of having the prepackaged individual bottled water.
I love all your tips. I want to know also too, what are we doing wrong? Like what if you want to save us money, what are we wasting money on? I mean, obviously I was wasting money on bottled water, but there's got to be so many more mistakes that we're all making with inflation.
The number one way, if I'm speaking in general terms, that I find and tell people all the time, we're wasting money on convenience. We, as a general consumer base, have gotten very, very used to instant or near instant gratification, and we are very used to being as inconvenienced as possible, whether or not that is same day shipping, overnight shipping, 2-day shipping, grocery pickup, bottled water. It comes in all different forms. We have gotten as consumers to a point where we are willing to pay extra money to do less work and be less inconvenienced. And what I try to explain to people when they say that, oh, well, saving money, it's so hard and it's so time consuming. It's not necessarily hard once you learn the tricks and get yourself adapted to it. But yes, it can be somewhat more time consuming and it can be somewhat more inconvenient. And that is the trade off. And that is the choice that we've got to get to, each of us individually. You've got to decide, are you at a point in your budgeting that it is now more important to save money and lose a little bit of the convenience and make that trade off? That is the number one thing that we tend to spend money on. Look at, we were just talking about groceries. It is much less convenient to cook at home for my entire family
Yes.
than to take them out to the restaurant and just have it served to me. I love eating out. It's definitely a convenient option. It is also by far, by hundreds of percent more expensive. And so the trade-off when I started to see my food bill go up and up and up was, it might be more time consuming and take more of my energy. But if I really want to start saving money in that area of my spending, I had to make the choice that we had to start eating at home more. And you can see that in many different ways. Again, the bottled water, the grocery store. Maybe it's something even you're not paying the extra $8.95 for 2-day shipping and you just wait until Friday to get it instead.
Yeah, I think the pandemic made it so convenient centered where we were all like locked up and we're like, oh, this is easy. I'll just order my groceries and you
I
don't
think you're
realize how much
exactly right.
more expensive that is than going to the store with a list, doing meal prep. So are you saying we will now prep for not just one day, but you'll prep for a whole week or 2 times a week?
If I am getting my grocery list together, I actually took the time with a few glasses of wine one night and sat down and said, I am going to come up with basically 31 different meals. Some of them were repeats, but most of them were different that I would be happy to eat month over month. I don't want to be eating something so frequently that I get sick and tired of eating it. But I basically came up with 30 different meals that were easy enough for me to prepare that I knew the whole family would like. And I split it into 4 weeks. And by the time I got to week 4, I wasn't eating anything that I had eaten anything recently. And basically, I pull out my recipe list for a week and I figure out what I'm going to be eating for that week. And I look and see what I have on hand. And that is now the way that I shop. And it has saved me a ton of money. It was very time consuming up front, but it has now actually saved me time in the end because I don't even have to think about anything. I don't have to think about what I'm going to have for dinner. I don't have to think about whether or not I have the food on hand. I don't have to think about what everyone wants to eat. I just pull out my list. Today is Wednesday. We're going to be having, chili. And I look at the list of ingredients that go along with the chili. I have 4 of them here. I only need to add 2 things to my shopping list. And it becomes such a streamlined approach that it ends up saving you time and money in the end, which obviously is the best of both worlds.
I'm a huge fan of meal prep for having helped so many people lose weight and plan ahead and hydrate properly and all of that stuff. You're such a wealth of information on how we can save money with all this inflation. Any final tips you want to leave our audience with?
I would just say don't get discouraged. I think that's the number one roadblock that people have to really sticking to a budget and sticking to really what becomes a lifestyle of just saving money, and not even so much saving money, but just spending more wisely, getting more value for your dollar, which then ends up getting you more value for your time. It can be a little bit of a learning process, but essentially once you learn these money saving tips, they become so ingrained in the way that you live your life and spend your dollars. It becomes second nature and you're not even thinking about it. So definitely I'd recommend, it's a journey everyone should take. It's a journey that anyone can be successful at, and don't get discouraged. I guess that would be my biggest takeaway.
That is such good advice for any goal. If you have a goal, it's not going to be easy. Hard work is required. Don't get
Absolutely.
discouraged. Stay the course. Where can people find more of you, Bethany Hollars?
Absolutely. You can check me out on brickseek.com. We're an awesome website that helps you save money. We do all the legwork for you. We find deals at the biggest retailers across the nation: Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, Staples, the Sam's Club, every big retailer you can think of. We do the work for you. Check us out. We'll tell you where the deals are. We'll tell you where you can buy them near you or where you can buy them online. And we're one of those tools to helping you start living that money saving lifestyle.
Okay, brickseek.com. Thanks, Bethany Hollars.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming to Whole CEO with Lisa G. After over 20 years helping people lose weight and get fit, I'm so excited to announce that I found the missing link with my coaching. Message me if you want to learn how to look better, feel better, and go faster with a master. Lisa G at lisagfit.com.